In this video, we're going to look at solving for angles just a little bit more, but you see what's different here is instead of cosine of x equals 1/2, it's the cosine of 3x equals 1/2. And a lot of times students really go into a panic about this. And it does add some difficulty. It adds a couple extra steps, but let's focus first on what we know. Now, I would right away ignore the 3x for just a little bit. I would just say, you know, make it a different letter, say the cosine of u equals 1/2 or the cosine of box. Ignore that for just a second and let's focus on when cosine is 1/2. Let's start with that. So of course, square root number of fingers divided by 2, cosine's above, so we'd pull in this finger, we'd have 1 above, 0, pi over 6, pi over 4. It's the pi over 3 finger. So pi over 3. That's one answer. But remember, we had more than one answer usually. So let's go down here. Let's go to the circle. Pi over 3 is right in here, right? Pi over 3. X, remember, is matching up to cosine. We're looking for when cosine is 1/2. So when else is cosine, sorry. When else is cosine positive? Well, it's not positive here, it's not positive here, it's positive over here. Well, not only is this 0 and 2 pi, I guess we could also rewrite 2 pi as 6 pi over 3. It's down here, it's 5 pi over 3. So that is our other answer. We say, well, what was inside that box? This red box has to be either pi over 3 or 5 pi over 3 because the cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Well, the box was 3x. So now we solve. Divide by 3. That means x is equal to pi over 9. Or x was equal to 5 pi over 9. And you see, that really isn't that tough. You got to find what makes it 1/2 and then do this extra solving. The problem is pi over 9, 5 pi over 9, our domain is up to 2 pi. We haven't even gotten to 1 pi yet. You know, 9 pi over 9 would be 1 pi. We need to go around the circle again. So if this is 6 pi over 3, going around again, 7 pi over 3, 8 pi over 3, 9 pi over 3, 10 pi over 3, 11 pi over 3. So 7 pi over 3 and 11 pi over 3 also would give us an answer of 1/2. So 7 pi over 3 and 11 pi over 3. And we've got 3x is equal to those two. Divide, we've got 7 pi over 9 and 11 pi over 9. And now we've just gone over 1 pi. You know, 7 pi over 9 is still less than halfway around the circle. 11 pi over 9 is just over. I'm going to keep going and just make sure I don't have more. Okay? So 9 pi over 3, well, I guess that would also be 12 pi over 3 because that would reduce to 4 pi, so 2 times around the circle. So 13 pi over 3, 14, 15, 16, 17 pi over 3. So I've got 2 more. I've got 13 pi over 3 and 17 pi over 3. Now, write that better. By rights, we should keep going just to make sure, but 17 pi over 9 is almost 2, I mean, it's close to 2 pi. 18 pi over 9 would be 2 pi, and I actually am done. But there are 6 x's, 6 angles you could put in where 3 times the angle when you took the cosine would give you 1/2 between 0 and 2 pi. Now, if you want to think about this graphically, which is sometimes kind of nice to do, the 3 changes the period, okay? It makes it smaller. So the period becomes 2 pi over that coefficient, 2 pi over 3. So normally, when we have 2 answers, it's because we have 1 period between 0 and 2 pi. But now we have more periods because we made it smaller. And I did quick graph both the cosine of 3x and the line y equals 1/2. And you can see between 0 and 2 pi, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solutions where the cosine intersects the line y equals 1/2. So that's why there are so many solutions there. Now let me briefly show you one a little bit easier, but this is the one that was on the AP exam last year. And what threw people about this one was the fact that the coefficient was a pi over 6. Okay? And the nice thing was it asked when it was equal to 0. Now, cosine is equal to 0. If you can think about it a lot of different ways, but it's equal to 0 when there are no fingers above. So square or pi over 2. So again, I just ignore this. Ignore the coefficient. Just say, when is cosine equal to 0? Well, it's pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. It's when the x-coordinates are 0. Well, again, if you wanted to say like this was a letter, you could say u is equal to pi over 2 or u is equal. But really, we're doing pi over 6 x equals pi over 6 x equals. Divide both sides by pi over 6 is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. That, the pi's cancel, we get 3. Multiply by the reciprocal. Okay. Pi's cancel, that's 3. We get 9. And the two solutions were 3 and 9. This was one of the lowest scoring portions of the AP exam because people, as soon as they saw this, they thought, well, I don't know how to solve this. Nationwide, this was a really poor scoring problem. And you see, it's really not very difficult. But if you didn't know how to do this, this was part A, you couldn't do the rest of the problem. So ignore what's in there. Figure out just what makes cosine 0. Okay, just ignore this part and then solve using some simple algebra to get the rest.